This is my local Restore Rack thrift store. I headed right to the games in the back and ended up finding Backyard Sports for the PlayStation 2 kind of wedged in here in the back, kind of weird, like someone was trying to hide it. Then I found NCAA 2K3, and then I found Dark Souls 3 for the Xbox One, which I thought about picking up, as well as FIFA 17. But then when I opened Dark Souls up, it had Madden 13, so always check the discs. Then I found Just Dance 3, Nerf Elite, and then some random cheerleading Wii games, and a bunch of other sports titles down below that I honestly didn't really need. And I was walking through the electronics section and I saw this Zapper right off the bat for $5. And right next to it was a Nintendo Wii for only $30? This place almost never has game consoles, so this absolutely shocked me. And you know I had to grab it, and I was going to walk right out the door after I paid. And while I was walking through the electronics section, I found an Xbox 360 as well for only $30. Now it's missing a controller, but everything else seems to be here, as well as the hard drive is missing. But I looked for the warranty stickers and no one had opened it up. So for $30, you know I couldn't pass on this. So let's see what all came with all of this and test it out and see if it works. I'm gonna set all the Wii stuff aside and we're gonna start off with the Xbox 360. Pull it out of the box or out of the wrapping, and then we'll test it and see what it comes with. And also, we gotta see if there's a disc in it. The seal is over the disc tray, so I didn't really try anything. But now that I've got it home, I can go ahead and open it up. Now, this one is pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, it did not come with a controller, which is kind of a bummer, to be honest with you. But I mean, for $30, this was a pretty good deal. Now, it was pretty basic. It came with the power cord, the AV cord, and then the console itself, which this is an Xbox 360 Slim in the matte black, which these tend to not get the red ring as much as the others. And like I said in the video, unfortunately, that it did not have a hard drive, which I guess is okay. I'm not too upset there. And then when I looked at the seals on the back, it did not appear to have been opened up, which if the seal is busted, you know for sure. But I didn't find any pry marks either. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see if we can see if it works. So I've got the Xbox 360 all plugged up and it looks like it's going to work. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I've got Halo Reach here just in... Okay, it's gonna come right open. It looks like that's an interesting fact. Let's go ahead and put Halo Reach in. And let's see if this is going to read or not. It looks like Halo Reach just started working, so let's go ahead and start it up. And look at that, right off the bat, this thing is starting up. That is totally awesome. I think it's safe to say that this Xbox 360 is actually working. This is totally awesome. Now that we know the Xbox 360 is working, I'm gonna go ahead and set that off to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Wii because I'm really excited because if that thing worked, the chances are that this is going to work is definitely well higher. First off, we've got the Zapper for $5, which is what it is. Oh, this is so nasty inside. I'm just going to close that back up and we can look at it later. But, yeah. The Zapper and a Wiimote for $5. Okay, whatever. But we then have the console itself for $25 with a bag full of stuff. So let's go ahead and get this open and get all the stuff out that it came with. First off, you saw that it came with the AV cord. It had the power cord as well. The sensor bar is kind of stuck, wedged underneath. The sensor bar. And then you've got a Wiimote here without the battery pack, which is interesting. And then you've got the console itself. So I'm really excited about this. This is the GameCube port one. So I'm really hoping there's a GameCube disc in here. There is no SD card, but for 25 bucks, I definitely think this was worth it. So let's go ahead and clear this off again and test this and see if we can get the GameCube compatible Wii working. All right, now I've got the Wii all hooked up here. You can see the red light. I got Wii Sports here as a disc just in case. And then I couldn't get these other two remotes working for some reason. This one looked fine. This one was absolutely nasty, so I'm not going to try that right now. But let's go ahead and turn this on and see if there is a disc in it. Hopefully there's something good in here. It looks like there's nothing, which is kind of a bummer. Now that it's paired, let's go ahead and see if we can get a disc or anything. It doesn't look like there's one in it, which is another bummer. But I've got Wii Sports Resort here. So let's... This was a bad decision to try to do with one hand. Let's try to get it in the system and working. And let's go ahead and test this bad boy out and see if it is actually going to work or not. It looks like it's going to work here, which is exciting. So let's go ahead and start it up and see if we can play something with it a little bit. All right, so it's loading up. Let's go ahead and start a game and see if it'll at least start something here. See if I can play this one-handed. This is hard while holding it. Oh! Oh, no! Well, at least we know this thing actually works. Now that we know that both consoles work, which is totally awesome, we know I didn't waste my money, but I spent $65 on all of this. So let's head over to the computer and look these up on price charting. Now I know these aren't the end-all prices, but this is a good baseline for seeing if this was worth it or not. Let's go ahead and start with the Xbox 360 here. I've got my computer pulled up, and I think this is a Slim. If I remember correctly, that is the one that it is, and I am correct. However, there is a 4 gig one and a 250 gig one. I think the price isn't much different. Let's just look up no, neither one of those is it. It's this one. Okay, so I paid $30 for this one, which loose, it's going for $50. Now, it doesn't have the controller, so maybe $45 is probably the right price here. So I want to be kind of conservative a little bit. I don't want to say 50 because the console is missing the controller, but thankfully I have a bunch of other controllers as backups, and then we will go ahead and check out the Nintendo Wii. And we've got $45 on the board, and then $55, which is $100 bucks. But I did also get an extra controller and the zapper, so let's say like $110 in total is what this is actually worth. So paying $65 in thrift store riskiness for $110 isn't a bad deal. That's about $55 if my math is right. If it's not, comment down below and let me know, because I know you will. But overall, I feel like $110 for $65 is not bad. But overall, I feel like picking all of these up from a local thrift store, it was a little risky. However, I knew I was going to make a video about it, and I wanted to see if these things were even worth it. Now, if I was collecting regularly and not had a YouTube channel, would I pick these up? Maybe not. I feel like $25 for the Wii is probably the better deal. Wiis are usually a lot more like consistent or stable, and you know you're going to plug it in and it's going to work. The Xbox 360 was a little bit more of a risk. Now, if it came with a controller or some games with these, I would have definitely been happier, but I'm not too mad here. I think this was definitely a good haul from the thrift store that I never find game consoles at. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I think the value was good too. I paid like 60% of what it actually was worth. So overall, I'm pretty happy. But I'm going to get out of here because I got to try to clean these batteries out of this thing. They're just disgusting. And honestly, I think you need to check out that video up right there if you haven't already. But overall, I don't mind spending $25 for a console untested at the thrift store because when it comes down to it, I can usually get them working and enjoy them. So I'm gonna get out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.